Alright, air conditioner turned off, so maybe be a little quiet. The birds aren't super chirpy. I was in the greenhouse yesterday, stepping backwards. The door swung behind me, ended up stepping on it, so it doesn't fit as well as it could. It's got some wiggle going on, so I've got to do some repairs. Yeah, let me zoom out one. Here's what the jungle's looking like this week. I've just kind of let them hang over. Normally I kind of trim them. I'm kind of letting these on the right side do what they want to do. It's so bright I can't even see the screen. Isn't that terrible? Tons of tomatoes. You've seen the same bunch. I've just been picking slowly. Pick some, give to the neighbors earlier in the week, and I have to do some again. The rest are destined, at least the first set, to probably be zipped into some salsa. We'll see what happens. Haven't found any replacements yet for these peppers. Yeah, they're just ripening, right? So nothing special there. The biggest thing, the cherry tomatoes have shifted into overdrive with the heat. You can see a few here, and you can see all kinds of red poking through everywhere. So there's dozens and dozens of cherry tomatoes. And then obviously we have this grape hiding in the middle. And just everywhere you look, there's something changing color. So that's good, right? Nice and productive. I'm actually thinking about cutting off a healthy sucker and starting to clone it. So maybe those two buckets that you can't see from here down there, put one of the clones in there, and then once these get past a certain point, cut it down and start again. We'll see what happens. But they're producing really well, so but want to get a jump start on a clone before it gets too crazy. Check out this cluster. There's about 15 tomatoes on here between the front and the back, just doing its thing. So the lunchbox, the ones red are turning red, the ones orange are turning orange. Those plants survived my caging of them. This serrano took a pretty good hit with all the bending and things. You can see some of the busted leaves and branches. Crispy critter. It is trying to produce some peppers. I know there's at least one hanging over here on the side. And this cage stops right here. So I was just trying to give it a little structure. Going forward, I'll put the cages in for the peppers right at the get-go. I can actually push it all the way down into the bucket just by trimming the spikes. It is warm in here today. It's about 115 in certain parts of the greenhouse. But like I said, you can see it bowing. It's just bowing like crazy. I can't even stand up anymore. My head, if I stand under the plastic, probably that bar comes down to the middle of my ears. But each plant's got at least 15 or 20 tomatoes on there. You can see a bunch of red going on back there. They're not quite picking time, but they're getting close. I kind of have to look day by day. I don't want anything rotting out here and going to waste. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, this one is from this plant. There's a couple down in there. The issue that I have, I don't know if I'm going to get enough of these large ones all at one time with my 8 plants. Can't even look in there, it's so dense. There's some tomatoes hanging out back in there, way deep in the jungle. I don't know if I can get enough tomatoes at one time to actually can them, because I'm not digging out all of that stuff to do like a quart or two. But we'll see. Maybe next week I'll have to do a small canning session. Well, not on tape. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Figure 7 quarts fit in the Presto canner. So if I had 5 quarts, wouldn't be a huge deal, but I mean, it takes forever. If you water bath can, it's 85 minutes. So, I mean, by the time you blanch them, peel them, cut them, squeeze them into jars, pull the seeds out like I did last year. Clean up the jars, then 85 minutes in the canner, then pull them out. I mean, you got a third of your day. You got a couple hours in that adventure. So been just letting these hit the top. They aren't as burnt and dead as I thought they would be, but they're starting to actually grow around the bar and gain structure from that, especially all the cherry tomatoes down here. I mean, I tried moving them and they're grown right in. These are a little more wiggly, but these, they're getting structure out of that really well. So I just kind of left them. And you got this little thing that wants to hang out in the middle of the street, but it had tomatoes on it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's let it do its thing and let's see how long it irritates me and keep walking around it. But you know, there's a couple here. That's going to be a while for those, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, it's really hot in here. So this bay leaf isn't doing too bad. I throw it a little water maybe once a week. There was that crispy leaf here, and part of that one's a little crispy, but the rest of it looks fairly healthy. I can see some leaves starting at the bottom and about midway and right there in the top corner. So the rest of these I haven't looked at in like a week, outside of the dead one, which needs to go to the trash. You can see all the dead aphids. So that one that was doing well, once I took it out and it got to the heat out here because it wasn't big enough, it just died. And I'm not expecting anything out of those other two. So 'tis the life of trying to play with bay leaves, I guess. I might order some from the same person, because I mean, this one did well. It's not really their issue that the things are so difficult, right? So other than that, that's it for this week in the forest.